Hey everyone, Mike here with Side Hustle Magazine. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're coming here for the first time, my name is Mike. I run a small publishing and media company. I write novels. I call them prehistoric thrillers. And this channel, this Side Hustle Magazine, is my chronicling my journey into attempting to start this small publication. Now, metal and extreme metal has always been my cup of coffee. It's always been my engine starter. It's always been my motivator. It's what's led me to try and believe I can make it in writing books and running a small publishing and media company. Now, today we're looking at the all-time classic, none other than Arise by Sepultura from 1991. If you're a metal fan, if you're a thrash metal fan, death metal fan, extreme metal, this album should need no introduction. Arise by Sepultura came out in 91. It was Sepultura working with Scott Burns again in the Florida studio, in Morrisound Studio. They had previously worked together in 1988 in South America, doing Beneath the Remains, but now they moved on to Morrisound Studio, where the legendary studio produced so many death metal acts. And I consider this album to be in my top 10 of all extreme metal albums. I definitely believe this is a top thrash metal album release. And, you know, a lot of people will say it borders on death and thrash. But this album over the years, along with Beneath the Remains, has just meant so much to me. I mean, to me, Beneath the Remains and Arise is really the pinnacle of Sepultura. I know a lot of folks will say Chaos AD, some stuff like that. You may get some that say Schizophrenia or even Roots. But to me, they really hit their high points in 89 and 91 with those two releases. Now, if I'm being truthful, I have to think that Arise comes in a little bit less than the Beneath the Remains album, but not much. But I do have to say, if I was choosing one or the other, I would say Beneath the Remains has my vote as a better album. You know, when I look at this and the first track, Arise, unbelievable, the brutality. Dead Embryonic Cells has probably one of the best breakdowns in all of metal history. If you know metal, you know what we're talking about. The breakdown part in Dead Embryonic Cells, even people that are rap fans have heard that and go, wow, that is some sick, sick stuff. So, you know, Desperate Cry, just an unbelievable opener. And those first three tracks, I would say you could definitely say are as strong as the first three tracks off of Beneath the Remains. So Beneath the Remains, Inner Self, and Stronger Than Hate. I would definitely say that you could say number 1, 2, and 3 off of Rise are as strong as anything off of Beneath the Remains. But when you get to number 4, Murder, when you get to number 5, Subtraction, those are phenomenal songs. And when I listen to them on their own, just judging them on their own, they are phenomenal. I love them. But I believe this is where the album starts to fall down a little bit and become a little bit less than Beneath the Remains is. Murder, Subtraction. Altered State is a phenomenal song. I think that goes back up to the same height, in my opinion, as Beneath the Remains. I love that track, Altered State. Number 7, Under Siege. I've always loved the beautiful acoustic guitar intro. I've loved it. You hear the drums crashing in. But when that song kicks in, again, it's not as strong as the songs on Beneath the Remains. Number 8, Meaningless Movements. Again, another great track, but just not as strong as the songs on Beneath the Remains. And Infected Voice. I love that song. I think you could say maybe they closed with a song as strong as some of the ones on Beneath the Remains. But nonetheless, this is their 91 release, and it is a phenomenal release. There are so many catchy hooks in this. I really think that this is when they were discovering who they were and what they were about. You know, in 85 and 86, they released Morbid Visions and Bastille Devastation. It was more of a death metal. In 87 was Schizophrenia. Death Thrash, still bordering on death. And in 89, when they released Beneath the Remains, I think they finally were thrash metal. But you know, still bordering on death. And I think what I love most about them is I just love Max's voice. I think it's harsh, gravelly, brutal. It's not a clean voice. I think it's perfect for this genre. And I've always liked their music because it borders right on that edge of death and thrash. It's right at the edge. And on this channel, we'll be reviewing plenty of other releases, you know, Sodom, stuff like that. Again, albums that border right on that thrash death. And I think that was a very special place for albums to be in the past. So not completely thrash, you know, not the high-pitched operatic voice like the singer of Forbidden. Nothing against them, love that stuff. But I always liked the more brutal vocals, and I think Sepultura delivered in that they were right on that border between thrash and death. Brings us to the most important part of the video, your comments. Love to hear them. What do you think of Arise by Sepultura, and what would you rate as better? Would you rate Arise better than Beneath the Remains, or Beneath the Remains better than Arise? Appreciate the support. Stay metal.